Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Inauguration Day. It's Daryl here. It's 4 a.m. bright and early here in Connecticut on the East Coast. We got 8 hours to go. 8 hours until Joe Biden takes his place in the Oval Office and Donald Trump is summarily sent back into Mar-a-Lago. Okay, I heard some doozies. Of ideas or theories. I have to be careful about how I present this stuff. There's a lot of, social media sites are being careful because there's so much disinformation out there that it's become dangerous, as we saw on January 6th. This isn't censorship. This is controlling dangerous disinformation. And you have to put when people start dying, you have to take a look at when opinions have evolved into dangerous theories and that are promoting people to act violently. And at that point, I think you're pretty much obligated to say, okay, this is where your opinion ends when people start losing their lives. But along those lines, I'm going to start with some of yesterday, I don't know if it was a full moon or what, but I think as we get closer to Inauguration Day, or the hour even, it reminds me of the people that, when the millennium came, there was all the doomsayers, when 2000 hits, everything's going to go to hell. Remember that, 2000? Then 2012, there was several dates, 2020. I remember 2112, like the Rush song, or the variation of those numbers. And whenever those dates came around, they had to reformulate these theories. Like, okay, we just had it a little wrong. Now we got the real, they had to kind of reformulate these theories to go along, because each date kept passing without their prophecies coming true. Okay, so now we're at the end of the road, the last 8 hours, and these prophecies have to come out to something. Otherwise, a lot of these people, like the letter of the alphabet, the anonymous letter of the alphabet, a lot of these people are gonna say, well, what the hell, man? None of this stuff, this was all bull. Joe Biden's, they're gonna, after today passes, it's gonna be either take a dump or get off the pot, as they say. All right, I'm sorry, I didn't plan on saying that. All right, I'm gonna start with one of the minorest theories and work my way up. I heard three different things yesterday. I think his name is the Tiger King, not the Lion King, the Tiger King, the dude with the mullet. I never saw his show. So he was convinced last night that he was going to get a pardon. That dude that had the the wildlife park with all the tigers, that was also involved supposedly in all sorts of weird stuff. All right, so I didn't know he was looking at 27. He's in jail. He's looking at 27 years, I think. And he was so sure that he was getting out yesterday that he had this huge monstrosity of a Ram truck limo pull up outside the jail to wait for him in all these festivities, because he was so sure that he was going to get pardoned. Hey, last I checked at 4 a.m. On January 20th, the Tiger King, or whatever the hell his name is, was not pardoned. So that's one off the list of these theories. Okay, moving on to the next one. Now, this is a scary one. This goes to the anonymous letter of the alphabet. A lot of them, there's this crazy talk that today, they've moved, like I said, they kept moving the date. It was January 6th, and then it was after Election Day, then it was January 6th. Now it's today at either 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. Supposedly, all cell phones, everything's going to go dark. Cell phones are going to get shut off. Power's going to go out, and Donald Trump's going to take to ham radios and give his instructions and authorize martial law throughout the country today, in the coming hours. Sometime in the next 4 to 6 hours, this is supposedly supposed to happen. So much so that supposedly ham radios have been flying off the shelves in particular parts of the country, probably like Iowa, Idaho. I'm sure Idaho probably has few ham radios on the shelves. And they've been stocking up on food and supplies. There's going to be martial law, and this is it. And then it gets even darker and bloodier. You could just figure out the rest. I don't want to be part of this. I'll just leave it there. But this is supposedly supposed to happen within the next 6 hours. Now, I'm 99.99999% sure that this ain't going to happen. Trump gave his farewell speech yesterday, and he's out of here this morning. I think he's out here at 8 a.m. this morning. Okay, now on to this last theory I heard yesterday. This one's interesting. This one almost got my attention. And the interesting thing is, I heard this in the early morning. I changed my walking routine, and I walked in a different part of the park, and I started chatting with somebody else who isn't a Trump supporter. I heard this theory 3 times yesterday, once from a non-Trump supporter, once from a Trump supporter, and just once on Facebook. Okay, this is it. This is the gist of it. And this is just a scenario that I heard somebody saying yesterday. A couple people say yesterday. Okay, on January 6th, it seemed like the security was ridiculously low key. You almost saw the security guards letting people in. For the Capitol, for the Capitol building, probably, next to the Pentagon, the White House, those should be the most secure buildings in our country. And this bunch of people just didn't breeze in, but the security looked rather lax. Compared to what it is now. And that fits into this story too. So it almost looks like they were almost allowed, almost like people knew they were coming and they were let in. So this is how this theory goes. They know that Trump supporters are strongly anti-mask, don't believe in gloves or social distancing or any of that, right? So this is how this idea goes, that there was suitcases, packages, and notebooks that had pages with special pages, and all this stuff was supposedly carrying live strains of the COVID-19 virus, especially virulent, dangerous strains of the COVID-19 virus. Inside these pages, inside plastic sheaths, inside notebooks, and they were all hermetically sealed, knowing that these people would come in. So at the last minute, when they knew there was a siege, they put these pieces out, didn't even have to open them. And they knew that people were more or less allowed to break in through security. These objects were laid about as the lawmakers left, knowing full well that just like cockroaches to food or mice to cheese, these people would go right for these selected objects, tear them apart, open them up, get it all over their hands and their faces, and then interact with all their friends, and then go home and interact with their cells, their different theory cells all across the United States, thus spreading this throughout all these cells, a way to decimate this movement. Wow, that I heard that yesterday, and the messed up thing is, it almost, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but there were just parts of that kind of, I had a hard time figuring out how that wouldn't work, But like I said, this is just claptrap I've heard across. There's no validity to anything I've said today. 99.999999999% sure that none of this is true. But that last one, the thing that really messed with my head was that I heard it from different sides of the fence. And then it almost, I hate to say this, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, man. But I was like, wow. But then the whole thing is, it goes against human nature and the goodness that I trust in Americans' hearts, that they wouldn't do this to other Americans. And I want to believe that. Okay, so on one last note, and this doesn't have to do with theories, Trump denied letting Joe Biden, he wouldn't let Joe Biden use a government plane to fly from Delaware just for the short trip to Washington, D.C. Biden had to take a private donated jet for that little trip. Talk about being petty. One last note, and then he wants to take the Air Force One down to Florida, and he loses use of that at 12 o'clock, and he's going to land at 11. So he better get that plane back to Washington, or he's going to be charged extra. All right, just some thoughts. I'm definitely going to be back later with inauguration news. You guys have a great Wednesday and a great inauguration day.